I said that
Okay, Dr. Sheikh.
commonly Shias are told that Taqleed is a clear-cut and self-evident practice that is valid. And the practice of Taqleed is that because we don't understand a hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, we ask scholars, someone who was more learned, someone who has dedicated his life to learning a hadith. And then he explains to us. And the most learned, of course, if we ask the most learned one, it's the best, because then we have gone to the final authority. He's the most learned and the most pious, and it'd be very appropriate that Shias would understand hadith from him. However, I mentioned that this is such a flagrant lie, a false explanation of Taqleed. That's not what Taqleed is. You don't go to your marja to explain hadith to you. If that's what Maraja did, we would never oppose Taqleed. That's what actually we want Maraja to do. That's what we have been asking Maraja to please present a hadith to the Shia. Please write books of commentary and explanation of a hadith for common man to understand and to be able to read, and instead of exporting your books of fatwa to different corners of the world in every language, and instead of running all these elaborate websites with huge staffs that answer the questions according to your fatwa, why don't you run websites whereby these very scholars who type your fatwa in via email or online, they would disseminate hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu wasalam, because you say your fatwa is based on hadith. You say that your fatwa does conform to hadith. So why don't you instead make hadith available to Shias? So that is what we want. So it's a lie and a deception to say that Taqleed is the practice that a person does not know hadith and he goes to a scholar and he's learned and he explains to him. That's not what Taqleed is. Taqleed is that you do not have anything to do with hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. What is the word of your imam? You're not concerned with that. All you're concerned is the fatwa of the mujtahid. And mujtahid never explains hadith to you. Never helps you understand better what hadith and teachings of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam is. No. He thinks that you're dumb, that you will never understand a hadith. So he says that you can only follow my word. My word is hujjah upon you. So in practice, what happens in Shia community today, that Shias don't have to do anything with Taqleed. They're not, they don't have anything to do with hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Words of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam do not define what our daily routines are, how we do our business, how we buy, how we sell, how we get married, how we worship, how we pray. No, it's all only fatwa. That's not what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said. That's not what the holy Imams alayhim salam have said. That's not what Allah in Quran have said. Allah, Quran, Ahlul Bayt, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said that you have to follow our words. There's a big difference between the two. Following fatwa, following hadith, going to a scholar, learning hadith, going to a scholar, learning fatwa. If you should understand it, if that's a difference between day and night. So inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, I hope my Shia brethren will pay attention that this false misrepresentation of what Taqleed is. Practice of Taqleed is not that the marja explains hadith to you. Practice of Taqleed is you deify the marja. Marja is the final authority. His word is law. His word is Quran. His word is Sunnah. That's what Taqleed is. Yes, brother. So that's what I spoke about earlier today. Yeah.
Very good. You're very right, Sheikh. You're very right. And in a situation where you consider a sheikh or someone who is non-ma'soom to be in the position of a ma'soom, that is a very big mistake. That is a very big mistake.
That's shirk billah.
And this is most of our scholars do. Even in our previous of thought, that is in the Salafi world, that is how we actually believe in our scholars. That's how we see the differences are too much. Because when a scholar disseminates a fatwa, they think that is exactly what the Prophet says. You understand?
Of course.
Which is very bad. We are referred to the ma'sumin, Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. We should refer to their words. We should refer to their actions. These are the only sacred way. These are the only salvation way that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam left us. إني تارك فيكم الثقلين الكتاب والعترة.
Ahsant, brother.
Yes.
May Allah bless you. Allah keep you well. And another thing that I want to mention here, that how our mullahs and how our ulama, scholars, they discourage people from following hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu wasalam by misleading them and by misinforming them that hadith is hard to understand. Hadith is hard to understand. Or that there are too many conflicting hadith. Or some hadiths are very weak and you cannot tell. So let me tell you, just as you and your belief system, when you do an usul ad-din, same scholars will not tell you the hadith is hard to understand. They will give you lectures on hadith al-Thaqalain, they will give you lectures on hadith al-Manzila, they will give you lots of lectures. They'll never say, how is it possible that when usul ad-din, where there are more disputes, more differences, more disagreements amongst Muslims, and more shubuhat, more paradoxes, their hadith is understandable. And when you come to furu' ad-din, hadith is impossible to be understood. And the same thing that goes again about conflicting hadith or weak hadith. If some hadith are weak, a scholar can explain to you. Don't follow this hadith because the hadith is weak. Just in aqaid. When we come to aqidah, if someone tries to mislead you by presenting to you a weak hadith, you would say, this hadith is not reliable. My scholar told me it's not reliable. Therefore, we are not going to believe in this hadith. So, hadiths are easy. As a matter of fact, hadiths are way easier to understand if explained than fatawa. Fatawa are very complex, especially fatawa in Tawdih al-Masail and Minhaj al-Salihin. They are al-Urwat al-Wuthqa. It takes years. It takes years for a student to learn al-Urwat al-Wuthqa because it's so complex. The text is so complex. And Minhaj al-Salihin the same way. So this assertion that hadith is more difficult to understand than fatwa, this is false. Number one. So if some hadith are weak, it's not very difficult for scholars to tell you, please do not follow this hadith because this hadith is weak. It's very easy for scholars. We have hundreds of thousands of scholars for them to write books of Sahih hadith for you. If the problem of weak hadith is so immense, why Sistani and people like him, they cannot write a book of Sahih hadith? And number three, conflicting hadith. There are very few conflicting hadith. And just like aqaid, you have conflicting hadith. And furu' ad-din, you have conflicting hadith. And Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam have acknowledged that there are some hadith which are conflicted, but they have not the solution from Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam is not that you do taqleed because there are conflicting hadith. Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam have told us the steps that you look which hadith, for instance, conforms to the Sunni fiqh, which hadith goes against Sunni fiqh, which hadith conforms to Quran, which hadith conforms to Sunnah. So you take that hadith and conflicting hadith. So the solution to conflicting hadith, which are very few, Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam have taught us is not to follow taqleed and disown all hadith. That's not the solution. The solution is, as I mentioned, Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam's own words when conflicting hadith occur, what she has to do. And for the common man, scholars don't have to present all the conflicting hadith. Just in usul ad-din, when a scholar gives a speech about usul ad-din, imama, he does not bring all the conflicting hadith in usul ad-din. No, he chooses some hadith because it's not obligatory for the common man to learn all hadith in the world. Nor it's practical. He needs only to learn those hadith that he is going to follow. So inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, I hope that these very common misconceptions that are spread about taqleed and about following hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu wasalam are spread on purpose. You are misled and misinformed about my position and Samahat al-Shaykh's position and scholars who oppose taqleed on purpose by these lies and these false accusations. I hope these are clear, inshallah. Brother, you want to enlighten us, inshallah, share your thoughts?
Inshallah. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. During the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, revelations comes to him.
Yeah.
And he is the one who directly enlightens people.
Hmm.
After the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there comes Al-A'immah. During their time, nobody could ever come and appear and say that he could not understand their explanation.
Yeah, never. MashaAllah.
Never. So their explanation is always simple. Their explanation is always at the right spot. Their explanation is always clear on the heart of believers.
MashaAllah.
They don't need more explanation.
I just want to interject one thing here. Most ahadith about ahkam, halal and haram, are in the form of conversation, dialogue, question and answer. Somebody asks a question about wudu, somebody asks a question about ghusl, the Imam alayhi salam explains. So that makes it further easier to understand. Because when the explanation comes in the form of a dialogue with a common man, a dialogue not between a philosopher of a highest level and the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, using terminology that nobody understands. No, a conversation between Imam alayhi salam and a common man about common questions. That's what our hadith of ahkam is. So that makes it very easy to understand. Compare that to fatwa. Fatwa is written in legal language, in legal terminology, in fiqh jurisprudential terminology. That's even difficult for someone like me to understand, who has spent many, many years reading these texts. Yes, brother, go ahead. I just wanted to mention this.
Inshallah, we'll have more time.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, brother.
If time permits me, I'll do more research, inshallah.
Inshallah. May Allah keep you well.
Inshallah, we'll present it.
Thank you, Samahat al-Hafiz. May Allah bless you. Allah keep you well. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Allah keep you safe, inshallah.